work. We ain't getting nowhere, but I'm just hoping that it's working. Trying to change myself, I'm just hoping that it's working. And she was right there with a young nigga doing dirt. I know she got her.
You know why? If this goes unsolved, you know what I mean? To this day, I still don't even understand how the Biggie and Pop murder just goes unsolved. But, like, for most places, these cops will get embarrassed. You know what I mean? You look stupid as a town if a popular rapper dies in a public place and you can't solve it. Or at least come up with an arrest. Remember what they did in Memphis? They went crazy in Memphis.
Needed some resources. He's received a few calls, just as I did, and he wanted to stand, so he'll be here to make a statement later if he wants, or definitely here to answer questions. So let me speak to the human element first before we do anything. I spoke to this young man's mother just an hour ago. Flew in here from out of town. I want everybody to understand the pain, the suffering of a mother. Very tough. And I told her, as we stand with any victim of violence or any homicide victim, their family, we stand with them in this city, in this police department, and everybody that's standing behind me. I want to thank our homicide unit under the direction of Commander Spears for doing great work time and time again. I'm going to speak briefly, and I'm going to turn it over to the investigator, homicide investigator Arrington. After he speaks, I'm going to get Commander Garcia to come up and translate in Spanish, and he'll go over some of the investigative parts. But let me speak to this just right. We understand and we know it. This morning at about approximately 2:34 a.m., officers received a call of a shooting in progress. Officers arrived there shortly thereafter. The location is in the downtown location, the billiards bowling alley located at 1201 San Jacinto Street here in the downtown area. Once officers arrived, they came upon a male who was deceased. That male has been identified as Kersnick Ball, better known as TakeOff. He's a member of the Migos rap group out of Atlanta. And I want to pause again because sometimes the hip-hop community gets a bad name. And I know, and evident from this city and people who I have a personal relationship, a lot of great people in our hip-hop community, and I respect them. But back to TakeOff. I got many calls from Houston and outside of Houston, and everyone spoke of what a great young man this is, how peaceful he is, what a great artist. And I'm calling up on everybody, our hip-hop artists in Houston and around the nation. We got to police ourselves. It is so many talented individuals, men and women, in that community who, again, I love and I respect. And we all need to stand together and make sure nobody tears down that industry. And I'm calling to start here in Houston, here and possibly as early as next week. I want to meet with some of our artists and see how we can taper things down. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to the investigator, and we'll our commander translate, and the mayor is here for questions as well. But I want to pray ask that we all pray for his mother, his family, and all of his friends who are in deep pain and shock still right now. Thank you. Investigator Arrington, come on up.
Thank you again, Chief, and thank you all for coming here, and good afternoon. I'm Sergeant Michael Arrington. I'm a sergeant with the Houston Police Department's Homicide Division, and earlier this morning, as he said, our patrol officers received a call at approximately 2:34 a.m. of a shooting just occurred at the 810 billiard bowling alley. From there, we were notified that there was a single male who was shot and pronounced deceased on the scene on the 3rd level outside, just outside the front door. We were also informed that 2 other individuals had reported themselves by personal vehicle to local area hospitals on their own, both of them with non-life-threatening injuries, but a 23-year-old male and a 24-year-old female. Like I said, both of them are going to be okay, and we have spoken and gotten information from them to help us in this investigation. But the officers arriving on the scene, initial statements from employees working at the establishment notified us that there was an incident that occurred after the party had ended. There was a private party that was booked out for the event. And then after that ended, there was a large group of people who gathered at the front door area just outside of the building. And it led to an argument where the shooting took place from the disagreement. A lot of the people that were there fled the scene and did not stick around to give a statement. So we're asking them to either call us at the Homicide Division at 713-308-3600. Or if they would like to remain anonymous, they can call Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS. We're looking for any information at this time, any videos, any information. We do know that the media has received a lot of phone calls, text messages, Twitter, tweets, vines, videos. We need all of y'all to send those to us so we can solve this case. We're looking for anything to help us. From there, as the chief said, we want to find justice for this family. They're going through a lot right now, and the only thing that we can do is hope that y'all reach out and assist us in any way to lead to evidence that will help us to apprehend and get charges and arrest on the person responsible for the death of TakeOff.
Thank you. Let me say something right quick, just to follow up. I just want to say something to our city. It's Houston. And every brother and sister in the neighborhoods, I'm calling you to action, to step up. There were 40 people at least at this event, and people left possibly out of fear. I ask you one thing, and I want this to resonate with everybody. What if it was your brother? What if it was your son? You would want somebody to step up. So please step up, get the information to us so we can bring some closure to this family who's hurting right now. Commander, come up and translate for us. Thank you.
Muy buenas tardes a todos ustedes. Antes que nada, queremos dar toda la
to provide. As you have heard, this was a.
Comuníquense con la división.
Is that the mayor?
222 TIPS, TIPS. Chief, you want to open up for questions?
Chief, let me just say.
Go ahead, Chief.
Just a note before turning back over to Chief Fenner. As you have heard, this was a private party. Last night of about 40 people. In that group, somebody or people know who the actual shooters were. And let me just ask, like has already been asked, that anyone who has information on the shooters to provide that information to HPD. And let us solve this situation. Let us bring justice to this family. But I'm asking for any of the persons who were at this private party that know, that have information on the shooters, please provide that information to HPD and let us solve it. We will solve this particular case. We will find the shooters. But information provided would help to expedite that. But we will. I do want to extend my condolences to the mom of TakeOff, to all the family members of TakeOff, to the families and friends. So I do want to. I want to do that because it doesn't matter how
Peaceful, loving, great entertainer.
There's a